My honor and pleasure to invite the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology to make his presentation. Thank you and good morning.
I do know that the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture has already established a robust protocol, and that is good for me, because if there is an welcome, because all of you are here, your presence is announcing your arrival. So I say all of you are welcome. Thank you. Alhaji Mohammed, Honorable Minister, has warned me that I must keep to maximum of 1 hour. What I did not tell him, which he himself knows, is that when you invite a politician to the microphone, that is dangerous. And when that politician happens to be a former speaker, that is double jeopardy. But then, I'm in Rome. They say when you are in Rome, you behave like the Romans. I must keep to the rules because he has given me executive order of the Federal Minister of Information. So, by way of outline, a close observer of the ministry's disposition to the attainment of the mandate and other responsibilities from 2015 to date, will testify to our commitments that are verifiable with empirical evidence. And most of these achievements are in the realm of, for the first time in the history of our nation, the modest achievements of the ministry and its 18 parastatals. Well, I know that recently one of the parastatals, Naseni, ported to the presidency, leaving us with 17 parastatals or agencies. And these agencies have been able to impact enormously on several sectors of our economy, particularly in the socio-economic well-being of the country. The major areas of remarkable achievement include specifically on Federal Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, institutional and organizational arrangements, the policy frameworks. I think I've mentioned all that, the enhanced global competitiveness ranking and all that. Well, so let me say that taking innovation matters into perspective, the ministry is undergoing what I call orderly repositioning and strengthening agenda. And the organizational arrangement is to provide a super organogram that is capable of achieving new vision and mission statements, core values, and critical success factors. The new departments of the ministry and of course divisions are developed along standard classification of research and development as the kitchen. Because if you are talking of food, you must be referring to kitchen as well. So not just because of that, we looked at the competence. And that is why that new agency is headed by a woman. Of our ministry, that is as assigned to us by Mr. President himself. Don't forget that 2019 and present, which of course will terminate next year, 2023, when the life of this administration will end, the deliverables as handed to us by Mr. President essentially include the following. A, implementation gets to the market. Then we cannot say that we have really achieved. And it's not an easy task at all. And that's why we continue to encourage a kind of handshake between the research institutes and the industries so that the products can get to the market. And it's when these products get to the Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years. That's a collaborative thing. It doesn't lie, strictly or absolutely with the Federal Ministry of Science, Tech and Innovation. It's a joint mandate for all the ministries, departments, and agencies. So briefly, the vision statement of our ministry is to be the foremost national science, technology, and innovation establishment in Africa, comparable with the best in the world. That's the vision statement. The mission statement is to deploy science, technology, and innovation in achieving sustainable the best in the world. awareness to development, cost adaptability, and imbibing the culture of result-based management logical framework. And critical success factors that we have established include promoting the value of science, tech, and innovation to the general public through continuous effective advocacy. And that is one of the things we are doing in our Executive Order 5, which is to establish a culture. A culture. When you establish a culture, it becomes routine, it becomes part of you. Culture of science, technology, and innovation in everything that we do these days. Because it doesn't matter whether you are an arts person or you are in, name it, you need science, technology, and innovation to move ahead. Because that's why we say we are in the age of the fourth industrial revolution, which has science and technology embedded in virtually everything that we do. Of course, an appropriate toolbox to provide facilitation of goods, services, and systems. Of course, what we are saying here is that we must be able to produce goods and products that are competitive so that we can be in the reckoning outside of our own shores. Then, of course, very importantly, leveraging facts and data rather than fiction, fallacy, guesswork for informed decision making. Because oftentimes we just do some guess, and science do some guess. And science is evidence-based. We need evidence, and indeed, among young Nigerians, to become entrepreneurs in various small and medium enterprises. Those are some of the critical success factors that we're using to get to where we want to be. Let me just mention a few of them. I told you we have 17 agencies, and I'm glad to observe that most of the heads of our agencies are here present, and I want to commend all of you that are here to be part of this. Thank you very much. Energy Commission, National Biotechnology Development Agency, NABDA, FIRO. Well, it may interest you that the DG of FIRO is a woman. Aha. I know you will clap for that. As the journalists will say, dog bites man is no news. But man bites dog, that is news. So that men head some agencies is no news. But when women head some of these agencies, it's news. Isn't it? And our Institute of Trypanosomiasis and Onchocerciasis in Kaduna, also a woman. Abi? Aha. Of the ministry, which is essentially to create an applause to the heads of so many agencies that you know what we do are implemented. The ministry as a body, as a headquarters, we churn out policies, have been doing very well, reasonably. So I will have to move fast a bit. By way of policies, of course, we have our National Science, Technology, and Innovation Policy, effectiveness in raw materials and products development and implementation plan. We have the Presidential Executive Order number 5. We have the National Policy on Methanol Fuel Production Technology, and we have the National Leather and Products Policy. And recently, the Policy on Welding and Related Fields was approved by the Federal Executive Council. That's the latest in terms of the policy of the ministry, which is essentially to create an enabling environment for the sector to create jobs, wealth, and improve science, tech, and innovation contribution to the GDP. Of course, we have the chemical technology policy, and then, of course, the National Biotechnology Development Policy, which has been reviewed, while the ministry is also currently articulating the nanotechnology policy to fast track, as it used to be, particularly when we had those very terrible strains afflicting and leading to that. And I can tell you that most of these sanitizers were developed from agencies. Alcohol-based and non-alcoholic hand sanitizer gel, and of course the sanitizing kiosk, are some of the things produced by some of our agents. Important during the height of COVID-19 pandemic. And of course, the 3D face mask, and some people are still using their mask. Yes, if you feel comfortable, it's just that it's optional now. And of course, one equipment to deliver oxygen to their patients during the COVID sickle cell anemia. And Nigeria has probably the largest percentage of patients either carrying the trait, or who are. So, then of course the development of and you see some of these things there on the slide. There's also the production of neem extracts for skin care, and of course oral hygiene. Prevent, detect, and combat biological, radiological, nuclear, and improvised explosive device. In terms of Ebola virus, hepatitis, HIV, and of course there is technology and innovation developed, improved varieties of certain crops to serve as alternative sources for the industrial sector. You know, one of the challenges we face in the area of food security has to do with having disease-resistant varieties of seeds. That is, seeds that can resist certain diseases. And I can tell you that and GPRS-based emergency management system to support security and health. Farm produce, they get spoiled even in a short time. And I can tell this audience that there are efforts in place to reduce, if not totally eliminate, spoilage of this produce. Then, of course, taka. You hear taka. It's a kind of false yam, which is used for the production of starch and glucose syrup, which will reduce pressure on yam, cassava, and maize. We have this being produced by the Raw Materials Research Agency of our ministry. In a similar vein, technology has been developed for the extraction of glucose syrup, which otherwise would have been sourced from the sources mentioned earlier. I also do know that the agricultural crop boosting program of the ministry through the raw materials research, there is a way to not amongst others, recurring post-harvest losses in onion and garlic. The Raw Materials and Research Development Council, in collaboration with Africa, put them in flake form. It's like you have your cornflakes, so you also have garlic flakes and onion flakes, which make them more longer lasting. Materials Agency's program on development of dairy sector introduces technology of increasing the daily milk yield of laboratory effort going on to do DNA typing research. So I think that's enough for health related. Let me now move to food, because this is the essence of what we are saying. Pest